All right, what's up? I am Paige Anderson, and this is the Page Effect. And today I'm here to do a red rum mystery story and a makeup beat. Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna beat my face. I went and raided my wife's makeup thing, and we're gonna get to it. We're gonna do this thing. You know what I'm saying? It can't be too hard. But my first story is gonna be about Prince, and every week I will be doing a new story. But I wanted to start off with Prince because Prince was my musical father, and I cut my teeth on Prince. I learned how to make music and complete a song start to finish by listening to Prince records. I'd already been in music, but it was Stevie Wonder and Smokey Robinson and Lionel Richie that I liked. And my mother came to me with this Dirty Mind album. She said, this is something that you might be able to do because this music is sparse enough for you to hear what's going on. And she was right. But anyway, on April 21st in the AM, Mr. Prince Rogers Nelson was found dead. I know, it's a hard thing to say. It was harder for me to go to Wikipedia on that day and see that there was an expiration date to the life of the man that I had looked up to musically so long. But here we are. Now, I found it kind of quick and sketchy that he went from we found him, we did an autopsy, and he's cremated, and let's celebrate his life. I was like, this is sketchy because I understand all these pictures here. Check them out. Jumping off pianos from that height and hitting the floor either in a split or hitting the floor with both feet on the ground with high heels on can cause some pain and damage. I used to be a dancer. I don't know if him passing away and a quick autopsy in the same place that George Floyd had an autopsy, and we know what happened with that, what should have been the thing to do. I believe that Mr. Nelson deserved at least a real deep investigation of his situation and his whereabouts. Now, this is a makeup video, so I guess I gotta put some makeup on. I went to my wife's makeup thing and I rated her thing and found stuff that I saw her use. This is primer spray. I don't know what it's for, but I have painted walls, so I'm thinking it's like putting white paint on walls before you put the color paint on. So let's see what happens. This is definitely not for dudes. Okay, so let's start at the beginning of the end. All right, so let's start at right around March, where Prince had set up some shows that were going to happen on the 7th in Atlanta. It seems that he felt a little ill, and those shows were subsequently canceled and postponed. People who had tickets for the shows that were sold out were able to be refunded a full refund up until it was April 13, and then all those tickets were resold for the ultimate date that he ended up performing, which was on the 14th. Now, Mr. Nelson Prince was said to have had influenza. So on the 14th, we have the shows. Prince performs those shows. Those shows are killer. And then he gets on an airplane. I listened to an interview with CeeLo Green stating that he had talked with Prince a little bit after the show and was kind of feeling him out to see if he was going to perform again, because Prince was notorious for doing a second show somewhere else privately, or just being in a hotel and having something princely going on. So uh, he told CeeLo, now the only thing I'm doing is getting on that airplane and I'm going back to Minnesota. CeeLo says that they, did the brotherly love thing, and then, you know, that was the last he saw of Prince. Now I'm assuming that Prince ended up, because I've been in AV all my life, all my adult life, so I'm pretty sure that they managed to get everything broken down, which, I mean, a piano, a microphone, some lights, put on the airplane, and then Prince boarded his assistant Kurt and his girlfriend at the time, I forget her name, but they boarded the plane, it took off, and they were in the air. Now it says that somewhere around the Quad City International Airport in Moline, Illinois, that a panic call was sent in. I'm saying panic, but it was probably just, I'm pretty sure it's panic. Uh, there was a panic call stating that we have an unresponsive male on board. Subsequently, they landed the plane in Moline. Mr. Nelson was given a Narcan shot, and he was revived and brought to emergency. Against the medical professional's will, Prince decided to check himself out once he had gotten to a point where he could get up and leave. So he boards the plane again, and he's back in Minnesota in time that it takes to get from there to there, right? Now, here we are. I have this Ben Nye Topaz. I don't know what this is for, but I'll just put it here. All right. So Prince gets back to Minnesota. His girlfriend, female companion at the time, stated that she asked to stay but was not allowed to stay, and she ultimately ended up back at her home in California somewhere. And Kurt, being Prince's friend, proceeded to take Prince to the next morning or morning after, I'm not sure, but take him to see a doctor, who then prescribes him medication for his pain, because at this point it's apparent that Prince is dealing with some kind of pain issue, and he needs help. He needs help with the pain, and he probably, because of being Prince and being a rock star, so secretive that you try, I'm sure, because I've met a few rock stars and been in presence of them for a while, that you try to maneuver ways so that you can get the things you need without your name being out there. So Prince receives medication under Kurt's name. He also had probably been getting medications for his issue on the black market too, because a lot of medications was found in his compound, and they were obviously not the legal forms of the medication. So I'm assuming that Prince was getting a lot of stuff off the black market. Everybody does it, no big deal. But since the incident, they also had found a doctor, a pain management specialist, that was going to help Prince get off of his dependency of the pain medications. And it seems that this doctor's name was Howard Cornfield. Now, the date was set for April 22nd for Prince to speak with this doctor in person, but as we all know, Prince didn't make it to the 22nd. But the thing that throws me off about this whole thing is that Prince had been seen on a bike riding it. He had been seen in front of CVS or a pharmacy waiting on the actual medications that can actually help him with his situation. He had been at a party that he set up at his facility. He had been to Electric Fetus. purchasing some products, some LPs or whatnot. He had been to a dinner and music club. He had been, I mean, it's not like Where's Waldo. It's like Prince is everywhere. This is supposedly a sick man, but he's everywhere. He went, look, this is how deep I feel about this. This man went to CVS to get the right medication. This is Prince. He obviously knows that everywhere he's at, there's going to be somebody with a camera, even in a town that he feels safe in. There's going to be somebody there with a camera trying to get that lucky shot of him. And somebody did get a lucky shot of him. Standing outside of the pharmacy, I think it's a CVS, pacing back and forward, waiting for the medication. So he must have been in pain. He must have wanted that medication bad. He must have gotten that medication, and they got back into the navigator, and he went back to his home, or the place that he was calling home at the time, which was Paisley Park. Now, this is the day before he is found like that. My thing is this. We have a man who is successful in the business that he was in, which was music. And he had not been like one of those easygoing kind of guys. He had fought the industry for his rights to his music. He had fought the industry for his right to be Prince and own Prince's music. He had just recently signed a deal with the company that he fought so hard to get his masters from. He had just signed a contract with them again to start making music, and had put 2 albums out, one on himself and one on him and his group. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, you find him deceased, and you do a basic autopsy, and now we're all celebrating his life. Are you serious? Is everybody serious here? Everybody's walking around talking about celebrate his life. Hold on, we haven't even worked out how he died, because this is not enough evidence. Look, this is not enough information here, because you got Prince standing outside of a Prince standing outside a goddamn CVS, and then you have him riding a bike. And then verbally, because there's no pictures of him, he's at a dinner and music situation. He's also, he apparently played guitar somewhere. And then he had a party at his house where he said, wait a few days. And then he's dead. He's found at his house, dead. He went to the doctor. He went to a doctor to get the right medication, and then he goes home. Let's work this out. Let's bring it back. He went to a doctor to get the right medication. Then he goes home, right, and take the wrong stuff. No, let's work it out again. Look, he went to a doctor on camera to go and get the right medication at the CVS camera shot, to go home and take the wrong stuff. You find fentanyl in his system, but he went to go get the real thing. No one says that he had these medications, which were the real ones and the fake ones. No, he goes to a pharmacy. No, let's work it all the way back. He goes to an actual doctor to get the right thing. Stands outside the CVS Prince and goes home and take the wrong thing. Take the street thing. Come on, work with me. Anybody who's paying attention would know we should not be so quick to celebrate his life, because that seems like purple wash. We should be looking at this saying, hold on, this is not, no, we don't want purple wash. We want to find out who did my man up, because nobody's saying what needs to be said. This looks like somebody did this man up. This looked like somebody set him up because he had the right medications. He went to a doctor to get the right medications. He had the right medications. He had another doctor coming a day, like on the 22nd, a day after he had passed away. But he had another doctor coming to help him manage the situation that had been created over time. And he doesn't make it to that day. But let's go deeper, because I don't think Prince is a stupid man. I think that he's educated enough to know that I took this other stuff while I was in the air and I kind of OD'd. I got off of an airplane and got out of emergency and got on an airplane to go back to my home, and spoke to a doctor the next day, well, that same day, and then I got the right medication. I stood outside of CVS, I stood outside of CVS for this, but I'm gonna go ahead and take this. You know what I mean? The dog doesn't hunt. The dog doesn't hunt. This has been right here. This right here has been fucked up so bad that I don't know if anybody is really paying attention, or they did a really good purple wash and everybody just jumped in the water and said, yeah, celebrate his life. No, let's find out who did him up. Because what's happening here, this is a murder mystery. Because the man OD'd on some medication. And then he went to emergency and they gave him a Narcan shot. And then he checks himself out of hospital with medical professionals telling him, no, man, you need to stay here. We need to, work this out, make sure that you're fine. But he's like, you know what? You said I'm good. So you know what? I'll take care of this at home. I'm Prince. I can't have my business out here like this. People know too much already. I'm Prince. I'm used to keeping my shit on the low. I got to get up out of here. So I'm going to see y'all later. Peace out. Purple love. But I'm getting on this jet. I'm going home. He goes home. Later on that day, he goes to a doctor who gives him a prescription, of the correct medications. He stands outside of CVS and he waits for that medication. They get back into that Navigator and go back to Paisley Park. And then hours later, he is done up. He's found. Who gets the right stuff and go home and take the wrong stuff? Who is sitting around, not even that, a rock star who wants everything to be private, knows that if I'm somewhere, somebody's got a camera and they're going to take a picture of me. And haphazardly, someone was there and had a camera. They took a picture of him pacing back and forward by a Navigator, by the CVS, waiting for the right medication. And then all of a sudden, he is found after a myriad of days goes by. Think about this. Prince was riding a bike somewhere. Prince was at a record store, the Electric Fetus. He was at a dinner and music theater. Someone said that he played guitar somewhere. I mean, this guy was getting around. Oh, this is a eye pencil from the dollar store, I think, and you know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm doing, but this man was getting around. And then all of a sudden, you find him because he's taking the wrong medication for pain that he went and got the right medication for. I could see if they found him and found too much of the right medication in his system because he took the Narcan shot. So it's understandable. If you know that 8 pills will get you what you need, then you're going to take 8 pills, probably 9, because you're like, yeah, I got to take 9 pills. I would have been fine with that. I would have been fine with him, with them saying that, yeah, they found 12 Percocets in the system, or 12 Vicodin in the system. No, you found some off the market pills in his stomach with fentanyl in them. It doesn't make sense. And this makeup job I'm doing here don't make sense either. But I seen my wife use this. It's supposedly face primer. I don't know what this is, but let me prime up this area. Look, my thing is this. I'm from New Orleans. This man was done up. And then everybody's walking around talking about, let's celebrate his life. But we haven't found out how he ended up in a position where we are celebrating his life. And that's the effed upness about this whole situation. We were purple washed. They put in so many diversions, and the next thing you know, he was cremated. So there's no more evidence. All that evidence has been cremated. And here we are walking around talking about he was the greatest. Yeah, but we don't know why we are saying was. Because sitting up here saying, oh yeah, well, see, he was on drugs the whole time, and everybody knows every fucking thing now, but when he was alive, nobody knew shit. Or nobody was saying shit. Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Now, I understand jumping up and off of a piano and then hitting the ground in a full-on split and all the stuff that he was doing. Yes, that would cause problems, but we never found out why he was found in the elevator. All of this has conspiracy written on it. We're not gonna let the elevator bring us down. He's found in the elevator. All right. Prince felt a little ill. These are all setups. He even said, "Wait a few days. Hold your prayers a few days." You know what? This is my beat. And I'm going to stop talking before I say too much. Like Michael Jackson, I said too much. I've said too much. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. Next week I will be talking about Michael Jackson. But my thing with Prince is this. Just listen to me. Just listen to me real good. And you can hate me in the comments if you want. But he went to a doctor to get the right medications. They were prescribed to him under the name of his assistant. They then went to CVS to have the prescription filled. Prince is photographed pacing back and forward, obviously needing that medication. And then we have photographs of Prince riding bikes. We have people saying that he was at the Electric Fetus, that he was at a dinner and music place, that he played guitar somewhere, and then he had a party at his own place. And then he's found unresponsive, probably already passed away, but he's found. And nobody's asking, how was he found with the wrong thing in his system when he went publicly to go and get the right thing? That's all I'm asking. No more investigation. He passed away. He was found. He was autopsied in the same place that George Floyd was autopsied in the same state. Probably the same, who knows. But he was autopsied. His body was given back to the family, and then he was cremated. All the evidence that we could ever have is gone, and now we're celebrating his life. You guys have a good one, and thank you so much.